Hello everyone. We are starting a chapter, some basic concepts of chemistry. In this chapter, we will study the basic concepts of chemistry. First of all, we will know what is matter. Matter is everything that surround us, everything solid, liquid, gas, everything जो भी हमारे आसपास है हर चीज क्या है matter. So basically, matter is classified on the basis of two criteria. One is physical classification, other one is chemical classification. So we can classify on the basis of physical and chemical classification. Physical classification and chemical classification. On the basis of physical classification, matter can be classified as solid, liquid or gas. We have three states of matter on the basis of physical classification: solid, liquid and gas. On the basis of chemical classification, matter can be pure and impure, that is pure substances and impure for mixtures. Again, pure can be classified into two types: elements that are made up of single atoms or single, like sodium, like chlorine, magnesium, they are elements, and if they combine they form compounds. Again, compounds can be organic or inorganic based on the origin. So they can be inorganic, organic compounds. Mixtures can be of two types: homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous, in which the contents are mixed thoroughly, and heterogeneous, in which the contents are not mixed thoroughly and there is a boundary of separation between the contents. So this is basically the starting of the chapter matter, the classification of matter on the basis of physical and chemical classification. Now we move to another topic, that is significant figure. That is also an important concept in chemistry. Significant figures. So what is basically the significant figure? Significant figures are all the certain digits plus one doubtful digit given in the question, you can say. So what are significant figures? Significant figures are all the certain digits plus one doubtful digit. This is the basic definition of significant figure. So how can we determine the number of significant figures? There is a certain set of rules for this. Rules for determining number of significant figures. So what are the rules? First rule is all non-zero digits are significant. So what is this? All non-zero digits are significant. Example, we can say 3.13. 3.313. It has four significant figure. Okay? All the non-zero digits are significant. Second one is zeros between non-zero digits are significant. So we can write that zeros between non-zero digits are significant. Example, like we can take 3.01. It contains three significant figure because this zero is between the two non-zero digits, so it becomes significant. So finally we have three significant figure in this value. Next, the zeros preceding the first non-zero number are not significant. We can take an example, 0.329. Here we have three significant figure. Why we have three significant figure? Because this zero is before we can say this zero is before the decimal, so it is not between the non-zero digits, so it is not significant. Next, all zeros placed at end or right of number are significant. For example, 0.0200. So how many significant figure we have? We have three significant figure. We have three significant figure because these two zeros are before the non-zero digit and they are not between the non-zero digits, so they are not significant. Therefore, we have only three significant figure in this. So this is all about the significant figures. Now we come laws of the chemical combination. That is a very important topic of this chapter. Laws of chemical combination. First of all, we will learn the laws and then we will do one by one numericals on that. Number 1, the law of conservation of mass that you have been heard in the very classes. This is the basic law of chemistry, law of conservation of mass, that says that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another. So this is the basic definition of this law. So it was given by Lavoisier. It was given by Lavoisier in 1789. Lavoisier in 1789. What it states, we can write its statement. It states that during any chemical or physical change, the total mass of product is equal to total mass of reactants. Okay, this law is also called law of indestructibility of matter. Here we have the second law, law of constant composition, or we can say definite proportions. It was given by Joseph Proust in 1799. It states that a pure chemical compound always contains same elements combined together in same definite proportion by weight. We can take an example for this law. For example, copper oxide can be prepared by following methods. Like we can prepare by mixing copper and oxygen by heating them, or we can make by carbon carbonate decomposition, or copper nitrate decomposition. In all the samples, in the three cases, in all the samples, ratio of copper and oxygen, by whichever method they are made, the ratio is 4 is to 1. That is a simple ratio. So, according to this law, a pure chemical compound always contains same element combined together in same definite proportion by weight. So, the proportion, the ratio is uh, always same, that is 4 is to 1 in the given formula. Next one is third law, law of multiple proportions. It was given by Dalton in 1803. This law states that when two elements combine to form two or more than two compounds, then the masses of one of the elements which combine with a fixed mass of other are in simple whole number ratio. We can take an example. Hydrogen combines with oxygen, we know that, in two ways. First of all, hydrogen combined with oxygen, the very familiar example, it gives water. And in second case, it combines with oxygen to form H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide. Masses of oxygen in both the cases are in ratio, that is 16 is to 32. This is 1 ratio 2 and this is a simple ratio. So this law says that when two elements combine to form two or more than two compounds, then masses of one of the element we can take, दोनों में से एक एलिमेंट हम लेंगे एंड उसका मास सेकेंड के फिक्स के साथ एक सिंपल होल रेशियो में होता है. नेक्स्ट लॉ इज द फोर्थ वन लॉ, that is Gay-Lussac law. Law of combining volumes. So here we have Gay-Lussac law of combining volumes. It was given by Gay-Lussac, that's why the name Gay-Lussac's law. In 1808 by Gay-Lussac, it states that under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, whenever gases react together, the volumes of reacting gases as well as products, we can take product only if they are gases, because this law is only for gases. We neglect liquid and solid reactants or products. Bears a simple whole number ratio. Okay, so this is Gay-Lussac law. If we take the conditions of temperature and pressure same, so whenever gases react together, volumes and of reacting gases. Next one is Dalton atomic theory. To provide just theoretical justification to the laws of chemical combination, John Dalton postulated a simple theory of matter, which we know that Dalton atomic theory by his name. So, what are the basic postulates of his theory? Number one, he said matter is made up of extremely small, indivisible, and indestructible ultimate particles called atoms. The concept of atoms came from Dalton. So, what is first postulate? Matter is made up of extremely small, indivisible, and indestructible particles called atoms. Second postulate is atoms of same element are identical in all respect, while atoms of different elements are different in all respect and have different masses. And chemical properties. Next one is atom is the smallest unit that takes part in chemical combination. Next one is atoms of elements combine, we can say two or more elements combine in a fixed ratio to form compounds. Next postulate is atoms can neither be created nor destroyed. Nor destroyed during any physical or chemical change. Now comes the limitations of Dalton. So we can review the Dalton atomic theory. First postulate is matter is made up of extremely small, indivisible and indestructible particles called atom. मीन्स मैटर के अंदर सबसे छोटा पार्टिकल जो है जिसे हम डिवाइड नहीं कर सकते, जिसे हम ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते, दैट इज एटम. सेकेंड postulate इज एटम्स ऑफ सेम एलिमेंट आर आइडेंटिकल इन ऑल रिस्पेक्ट. एक एलिमेंट के सारे जो एटम्स होंगे वो सेम होंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल सोडियम है, उसके सारे एटम क्या होंगे? सेम शेप, साइज, सेम केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी, सेम मास के होंगे. नेक्स्ट वन इज एटम्स ऑफ एलिमेंट्स आर डिफरेंट इन ऑल रिस्पेक्ट एंड हैव डिफरेंट masses and chemical properties. मीन्स डिफरेंट एलिमेंट्स के जो प्रॉपर्टीज और मासेस होंगे वो सब अलग अलग होंगे. बिकॉज सबके एटम्स अलग अलग होंगे तो प्रॉपर्टीज भी ऑब्वियसली क्या होंगी? अलग अलग. नेक्स्ट वन इज एटम इज द स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट दैट टेक पार्ट इन केमिकल कॉम्बिनेशन. जब भी कोई केमिकल कॉम्बिनेशन या केमिकल रिएक्शन होती है उसमें जो सबसे छोटा पार्ट होता है जिसकी वजह से वो रिएक्शन हो पाती है दैट इज एटम. दैट इज द स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट. नेक्स्ट वन इज एटम्स ऑफ टू और मोर एलिमेंट कंबाइन इन फिक्स रेशियो टू फॉर्म कंपाउंड. लाइक वाटर एंड वाटर की बात करें अगर हम तो उसमें हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन एक फिक्स रेशियो में कंबाइन करते हैं एंड देन दे फॉर्म कंपाउंड वाटर. नेक्स्ट वन इज एटम कैन नाइदर भी क्रिएटेड, ना हम उन्हें क्रिएट कर सकते हैं ना ही हम उन्हें डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकते हैं किसी भी केमिकल और फिजिकल चेन में. नाउ केम्स लिमिटेशंस ऑफ डाल्टन थ्योरी. Dalton atomic theory. So here we are. The very first limitation is it could explain the law of chemical combination by mass जो भी हमने पढ़ी, but एक लॉ को ये नहीं बता पाया, that is the law of gaseous volumes. So first is it explains laws of chemical combination. But failed to explain law of gaseous volumes. Next is it could not explain why atom of different element have different masses. He said that different element have different masses, but why? The reason cannot isn't clear by him. It could not explain why atoms of different elements have different masses, sizes, etc. Next one is, he said that atoms combine with each other to form compound, but he failed to explain the reason behind it and how they combine. It could not explain how and why atoms of different elements combine with each other to form compound or element or molecules. It failed to explain nature of forces that bind together atoms in a molecule. Next is, it gave no explanation between ultimate particle of element and compound and that of compound. So this is the limitations of Dalton atomic theory. These are the 5 limitations. Then after that came modern atomic theory that solves all the questions of Dalton atomic theory. That is the modern atomic theory, जिसने सारी की सारी जो भी limitations थी डाल्टन की उसे करेक्ट किया एंड जो भी हमने अब तक डिस्कवर किया उनको सबको उन्होंने उसमें इंट्रोड्यूस करने की कोशिश करी. सो हियर वी हैव द मेन मॉडिफिकेशंस जो करी उन्होंने डाल्टन एटॉमिक थ्योरी में एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ न्यू डिस्कवरीज अबाउट एटम आर. नंबर 1, एटम इज no longer considered to be indivisible. It has been found that atom has a complex structure and is made up of subatomic particles. Like we know that atom consists of electron, proton, neutron. So it is indivisible. ये बोलना गलत होगा. It is divisible. Second one is atoms of same elements may not be similar. May not be similar in all respect. This point is speaking about isotopes. We know isotopes, like we can take the example of hydrogen. We have hydrogen of 3 types, that of 1U mass, 2U mass and 3U mass. We can say protium, deuterium and tritium. So these are all the isotopes that have same atomic number and different masses, or we can say mass number. So it explains that same elements may not be similar. They can have different masses. Okay, so the concept of isotopes also we know that modern concept. Next, atom of different element may have similar one or more properties. This point is talking about isobars, in which The atomic numbers are different but the mass numbers are same. For example, we can say calcium and argon. Both have masses 40 AMU. So, sorry, argon, AR. Calcium and argon both have mass 40 mu. So their chemical properties are different but they have atomic mass same. Such atoms of different element which possess same mass but different mass numbers are called isobars. So this concept was given by modern atomic theory. Next one is atom is the smallest unit which takes part in chemical reaction. Though atom is composed of subatomic particles also, electron, proton, neutron, but still it is the smallest particle which take part in a chemical reaction. Next one is the ratio in which different atoms combine may be fixed and integral. But may not always be simple. For example, we can take the example of sucrose, sugar, C12H22O11. In this, the ratio of CHO is 12 is to 22 is to 11, which is not simple. Now, next postulate. Atom of one element may be changed into atoms of other elements. They are the modern concept. For example, atom of nitrogen can be changed into oxygen atom by interaction with alpha rays. This process called transmutation, in which one element is converted into another element by a process like in this case nitrogen is converting into oxygen by alpha rays. This is called transmutation. The concept is transmutation. Next, last postulate is the mass of atom can be changed into the mass of atom can be changed into energy. We know the Einstein equation E is equal to mc square, where E is the energy, m is the mass, c is the speed of light. Mass and energy are interconvertible. This is Einstein equation. You can write Einstein equation. E is equal to mc square. Thus, atom is no longer indestructible. During chemical reaction, atom remains unchanged. So, this is all about the postulates of modern atomic theory. This is. Thank you.